Shalom, my name is Eva Virginius. I'm going to talk about how I come to know God and I do my witness and testimony about how God changed my life and how He did it in a special way. I don't know how many there is out there that have been in the same history, the same school as I have been with God. If you think that we have the same story to tell, then take contact with me, because I feel me so lonely of the experience I had in my life, because I see it as different, because I have not met anyone that can tell the same story that I have. So bear with me, because my main language is not English. I'm from Sweden. I am 57 years old, and I was 48 when God came into my life. It was in August 2000. Before that, I didn't refuse God, but I told people that I couldn't believe in God or Jesus in the way they were talking to me. I say, if I should believe in God, He have to come down to me and show me something very special that I couldn't doubt about, that it was God that have done this sort of things. I have never believed in anything what people have told me if I have not have seen it or heard it by my own ear and my own eyes. But in an early age, I come to know how much lies there is in this world. So I never accept anything or say yes to anything that have not show up for me also. So, but God did it to me. He showed me something very special that I couldn't doubt, that there is a God. And I was a lonely child my whole life. And I had an abusive family, a dysfunctional family. I grew up in that. So I was a lonely child with my thoughts, and I didn't get help from my parents. I have to find the solution for myself. As a child, I was in the church. My parents took me to church, but in that time, in the late 50s, it was very common to go to the church on Sundays. It was before the television and videos and that compete with people. So there was not so much to do on Sundays. So people were going to the church, where they could meet other people. So I was in the missionary school, and I was in the Swedish church, and till I was 15 I was in the Salvation Army. But I left it in a very strange way, because I'd be angry and disappointed when they started to take in a pop band and they started to play modern music. I wanted the church to be the old traditional church, and I have the same opinion today too, that I want the church to be as it was meant to be, and not like a popular church. I knew it already as a child. I started to have these thoughts about the church when I was only 8 years old, and I have other thoughts about life than other people, but I never told them. I keep it for myself. So I'm going to do some videos here. I don't know how many it's gonna be, because I am led of God, and if He wants me to do something else, I do it. It's depend, or else I'm going to put some videos here. In August 2000, I had lived my life with as it was abusive family I was growing up in. Then I thought it was a normal way to live a life, to be abused. So I had a man in my life that was abusive in not hit me, but in mental. They would try to break me down mentally, but they never could get me because I was strong from the beginning, as I had a dysfunction family, and I survived that situations that I was in there. So I also survived my relationships with the abusive man. I survived because of my way of seeing things. I learned from when I was a child to see things deeper than other. I was very much in the spirit world already. At 8 years old, I could tell things. For me, for myself, I was thinking already when I was 8 years old that I should be some known person. I should be a famous person in some way, something. But I couldn't know that I should be a pastor, and that I should be over the whole world with internet, that I should write books and do blogs and do videos. But I knew that I had some special gift already when I was 8 years old. But I hold it inside myself. I knew already when I was 8 years old who I was. That's why I could survive. I knew I was not belonging to that family. I was not belonging to the world. I knew that already when I was 8. So the world could never break me down. But I was very close to breakdown in 2000. I was preparing me to make a suicide, because I couldn't. The life was so tough for me just in that moment. I was married to a man from the United States, so I could speak a little English. as we were talking English in our family, and I lived in Texas in 1998 till 1999 in 11 months in Texas. But then we had to go back to Sweden, and I wrote with my husband because I thought he should change his way to cheat on me with all the women he could. He had so many women in his life in Texas, and he always was sitting at the bar drinking, but it going worse when he come to Sweden. So I didn't know how to break up from him. I was scared because he said that he should kill me if I should go away from him. He said that I will always find you and kill you if you are going away. So he knew that our marriage was bad. So I was thinking that make a suicide when suddenly in the evening, I don't know what date it was, but I say my birthday was August 16, 2000. I think that's the date God come down to me and was talking to me for 2.5 hours. I didn't see anybody or face of God. It was only a voice in the air, very loudly. But I know now today that my neighbors couldn't hear the voice, because the voice was only for me to hear. And God told me about my childhood. I couldn't remember my childhood because it was so bad. I have erased memories from my brain, but I had some fragment of memories from my childhood, and those fragments did God put together, so it was a whole story about for once that I was killed when my sister pushed me out on the street and a truck drove over me, and I should have been dead. I was between 2 and 3 years old, but I remember how I was in a bright light, and it was something very dark, like an open in the air when I was laying there in a dark room. I suppose I was in a dark room for laying there for dead bodies in some box. But I saw the bright light, and that was God already there, and He healed me and brought me back to life. That was God told me that I had been in that accident, but He didn't say about that He healed me, and that I can understand by myself, because I always asked my mother when I was a little child what was that bright light that I have seen, and she could never answer me that. She put up a story that I couldn't accept. She said I had some eye surgery, but there is no eye surgery in my papers from the hospital. It was only a lie from her. And she was always scared when I asked her what was the bright light. and then it was like I was paralyzed. It was like a metal hands was holding me back when I was laying there, and the bright light was, of course, very scary for a little child. And so I have never seen God, but I have seen the bright light of God, and I have heard His voice. So I am in this, that I have not seen God. Do you understand that? Many people accuse me for to have seen God, because if you have seen God, you must be dead before you can see Him. But I have not seen Him. I have only heard His voice and see a bright light. So I am going to record as soon as possible video number 2. Today, when I take a break, take a cup of coffee now, and then I come back in the recording. I hope you will stay with me and listen and watch my next video too, because you're gonna hear an amazing story if you hold in there. And maybe even if you are a bishop, pastor, founder of a church, you can find something that you can get knowledge from, maybe, if you only listen at me.